Just welcome back. I'm gonna do a little bit of some slate breakdown here. We have a lot of games starting early, so I'm gonna get this stream out early. But yeah, some good games yesterday. Honestly, again, just finding my groove the first few days, trying to figure out what's the best market to attack. But um, disappointing some of these. Let's kind of go over some of the things that I had yesterday. Alvarez, was something that I pretty much was pretty solid on, and probably should have gone a little bit more into it, to be honest. But Brewers again beat the Mets. We got the Tigers coming back. A lot of good games. I mean, the Braves are just dominating the Phillies this series, and that might continue today. We'll see. And Pirates 3-0 to start the year. Going for the 4-game sweep today. Baseball's really tough when it comes to sweeps, but don't shy away from them either because it happens a lot more often than you think. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get going here. Padres lost to the Giants. Cardinals beat the Dodgers yesterday, and now we got the Mariners walking it off versus Boston. So today's slate, I am going to be leaning a lot more unders than usual. It's a Sunday. The weather-wise, that we can see some weather that's going to be a little colder than yesterday. But a lot of games starting at 1:30. Okay, guys, it's going to be nice and early. 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 4. The last one being. All right. So let's see what we got. So let's start out with this first Braves and Phillies. I think we finally get our first under of the series here today with these two pitchers. Um, we're talking about Mr. Chris Sale and Suarez. Um, Chris Sale has been looking really good. Over the last of the over the course of the spring, he looks like is in good shape. He looks like he's healthy. Um, Ranger Suarez, we know what we're gonna get. Prone to being hit a little bit, but I think a very solid starter that can keep us within the game. And I think the combination of the weather and combination of just overall, um, just this matchup, I think we could see a low scoring game. I might even lean the first 5 so I can avoid the bullpens. But either way, I feel strongly playing an under here. 8.5, probably plus money. I like it. All right. So yes. So let's see kind of like what the weather's gonna be like in this game. So we're looking at a 60%. The wind's blowing left to right in Philly. So again, it's not like the best hitting weather, but it's also not the best pitching. It's okay. To me, it's not going to be a big difference. But I am leaning the under for this game. So you're getting plus money at 8.5. I don't see. Let's see how Ranger Suarez has fared versus Atlanta. He's probably pitched quite a bit. 228. So he's fared decently. He's done a good job versus their lineup. I mean, Austin Riley stands out to me as someone that could be looking to blow up a little bit here. He had a great not a great game, but he had one hit yesterday in the game. But Austin Riley might be someone that we target today versus Suarez. But overall, I think I'm leaning towards the under here in this game. I think if we're looking at it from the perspective of value, I say the under. So let's see where we can get the under at. Yep, 8.5 plus money. Or you could do 9.5. Oof, minus 150 is juiced. So yeah, it's gonna have to kind of roll with the 8.5 or nothing here. So the first five, let's see if it's 4.5. I might do that one. It's 4.5 minus 105. Let me think about which direction I want to go. But I think breaking down this Austin Riley versus Suarez here. Let's go to, where I'm going. I'm going to go to Baseball Savant here. Okay, so we know that Ranger Suarez, okay, so as we look here, some valuable percentiles, we know what he's going to do versus right-handers, okay, so versus right-hander batters, he has a pretty good mix, right, but the number one pitch he's going to use is going to be that four-seamer, followed by that sinker, and then a curveball changeup, right, not really going to throw the cutter that much, to be honest, but because he got absolutely rocked last year anytime that he tried to throw that pitch. So probably not using the cutter much, but it's going to lean on the curveball change and then four-seam sinker. So if we look at that, now we go to Riley. We're looking at a guy that hammers the sinker, okay, the changeup, and the curveball. I mean, this is just a matchup dream for Austin Riley. Okay, guys. So Austin Riley is probably gonna make my card somehow, some way, along with the under. So we'll see how I can maybe pitch this, how I can maybe play around with this, because I want to involve Riley in the under. But yeah, that's my first look in this game. Austin Riley should have a pretty decent number here for total bases, which is plus money, plus 110 total bases. Let me see what his hits, runs, RBIs is looking like. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking. I want to see what his hits, runs, RBIs is looking like. Because if it's not juice, I might go that direction. Or I might just go with the total bases. We'll see. It's not out yet, so right now the total bases will be the look. All right, moving on. What other game we got? We have, moving on to the next game that I want to talk about with you guys is going to be, honestly, this Angels Orioles, just have no interest in playing that series. It's just been 2 games of just beat downs. Probably that continues today. I have no reason for that to think that's going to change. All right, so we got the Brewers and the Mets, right? So a game that is going to be, the weather-wise, 55 degrees. It's going to be a little chilly. Again, I'm anticipating that this game is probably going to be, after a 7-6 game, I think both of these teams maybe come down a little bit. I mean, I don't really love the pitcher matchup as much. The Mets continue to be favorites, but I don't see why. I mean, there's nothing that I can see here that's telling me the Mets are gonna be beating this team. I like the under, another under that I like in this game. I mean, Colin Rea has been absolutely stud versus the Mets throughout the years. So, absolutely sorry, guys. So, we're looking at the Mets game. Reyes has a great matchup here from what we see. I mean, he's dominated the Mets. And then we combine that with the fact that I think McGill for the Mets. I think he's done decently versus Milwaukee. Yes. So again, two pitchers that the two game a game that I think I'm leaning towards the under. It's a really low total for a reason. I think it's 7.5. Um, so again, yeah, 7.5 plus money might be another one that I look into the first five. Um, since I know that the so let's see the first half, first four innings. If you can give me a even number, 4.5, first 5 innings total runs. That might be the play for me. 4.5. I don't think they score 5 runs in the first 5 innings combined. I think these pitchers probably are going to perform well enough to keep things somewhat low scoring. When we look at how they perform in the again, I don't read too much, but I just want to see what kind of rhythm people are when it comes to spring training, because things change. So like I know that it might not be the best sample, but I still like to see how they are looking heading into the season. Pretty solid spring, nothing crazy. Again, he's not gonna be a pitcher that's gonna wow you, but I think he can keep the ball decently. Had a great last outing versus Colorado. Again, it's Colorado, right? But at the same time, I think the first 4.5 in this game. Um, and then when we look on the other side, McGill for the Mets. I think this is a low scoring game tonight or today this afternoon, especially the first 5 innings. So Tyler McGill, right? The and the thing is, the Mets need someone that is going to come in and step up. Their starters have been absolutely horrendous through to start the season. They need someone to give him some innings. I'm expecting them to at least give him 5 innings here. He's been getting hit a little bit, but I'm just he has really good numbers versus the Brewers. Um, has been pitching decently, and I think the Mets need him to go at least 5. So I'm gonna lean on that, and I'm gonna take the first 5 under 4.5. That's an official play here for this game, the Brewers and the Mets. So that's in. All right, guys, let's keep moving on to the next one, which we have. Oh man, this Pittsburgh Miami series has been giving me fits, man. I have not been able to really get in a rhythm when it comes to betting this series. Today we got Billy Falter versus Tyler Rogers. Man, we're talking about when we talk about um, just two pitchers that you don't really know what we're gonna get. This is exactly what it is, right? So I'm not really sure what the the Marlins are doing, but I do like what Pittsburgh's doing. Okay, Pittsburgh's come out here. They've great offensive output, more than I expected them. Timing, hitting, clutch. I don't know if Pittsburgh's this good or the Marlins are just that bad. So it's kind of like I don't know. This game, Trevor Rogers for the most part, to me was someone that you couldn't really trust last season. I mean, let's see the numbers versus Pittsburgh. Not a big sample size, but Andrew McCutcheon seems to hit him pretty well. So again, you can't really when you have things like this, guys. This means that these guys that when Tyler Roger is pitching and Andrew McCutcheon is up there, this ball looks this big. Because for you to have a 500 batting average, 6 for 12 with 3 home runs, 3 homers, okay, and a double. So 4 of the 6 are extra base hits. That tells you something, okay. And I haven't even gone to Baseball Savant to kind of see what the pitching breakdown is. I just know that it is to me. I mean, the matchup is there, right? Um, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably skip this game. just because I don't really know what to attack it. To be honest, might be an over. I think maybe the Marlins show up here a little bit of offense today. They kind of have a little bit of life, but I have no idea if I can even trust that. I just know that Andrew McCutcheon is it's a beast versus them. How's he been actually doing? He's actually doesn't even have a hit yet in the season. So this might be a great game if he plays to kind of target him to maybe come out of his funk. Um, but from the other perspective, we got Mr. Bailey Falter, right? So again, another pitcher that I'm not really sure how many innings he's gonna go. I'm not really sure what the outcome's gonna look. But my lord, again, I mean, he's this might be the game that the Marlins need. Honestly, look at these numbers versus Bailey Falter. It's just unbelievable. So again, my lean at first was the Marlins again, but being 0-3 might just be a team total kind of thing where I might just kind of say, hey, the Marlins might show up a little bit of life, a little bit of fight tonight on a Sunday. They don't want to go 0-4 in the season. You know, being swept in a 4-game series to begin the year at home, no matter who you are, what team, there's a little bit of sense of pride there. So I'm probably going to, go towards the Marlins here, but not on a way that they're going to win or I think I'm gonna. I hate to say it, but I think they might score a little bit of run. And then let's just kind of see how Mr. Falter's been doing. So in spring training, Mr. Falter has been getting absolutely demolished. Um, as expected, kind of. I don't think he's good. I mean, if the Marlins can get some runs here, guys, I don't know what to tell you. This guy is absolutely cheeks. And let me see what the team total for the Marlins is at right now. But this is a great guy to target today. So my lean on this one's going to be the Marlins team total. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, the Marlins 3+ team total 3.5 runs. That's going to be my play. So Marlins team total over 3.5. Give me that at -135. So 4 runs. That's all we need from the Marlins. 4 runs. Can they generate 4 runs against Bailey Falter and the rest of this Pittsburgh bullpen on a game that's probably Pittsburgh's already satisfied that they won 3 out of the 4 games? Go back home, open their season at home. I just think overall it's a great matchup for the Marlins today to bounce back. They've been absolutely terrible, and again, it's just to me a little bit of a pride thing, where I think it's tough. So, now we got the Blue Jays and Rays. Very interesting game. Um, my lean is the the Blue Jays. I think this is a 2-2 series. I would love for the Rays to win 3 out of the 4, but Kevin Gossman is really good. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That we're gonna go with a bullpen game. This year with the Rays bullpen, there's a lot of new faces. I can't really quite figure out how good or how nasty we're gonna be. I know that yesterday was being a close game. I'm expecting that a lot of our guys pitched, a lot of our big players pitch, being a 5-1 saving situation. I'm Pete Fairbanks got in the bank. Jason Adam, a ton. Poche. Again, I just think that this game, just at least the first 5, Kevin Gausman, it typically has pitched really well versus the Rays in the past. So again, I have no reason why I should be fading him, other than if I'm being biased, right? And I want my own team to win. But I think this is a Blue Jays spot. I think the Blue Jays probably come in here trying to look, a split for them in Tampa is huge to open the season, right? It will be, it will, to them, it will be kind of successful. But I'm just no, I don't know yet. I don't know, especially after everything that went on yesterday, if that's the route that I'm gonna go. Um, but I do know that Guzman has pretty solid numbers versus the Rays, right? So, um, yeah, I might probably be leaning Blue Jays here, even the first five. I mean, I like the first five, just because I like to attach that matchup, right? Kevin Guzman, how's he performed so far in the spring? Yeah, he's probably done well. I'm assuming. I mean, yeah, pretty solid. He's only had um, one appearance, so I'm not sure how much he's gonna pitch today. So let me actually do a little bit more digging. Let's see. Mm, yeah, I mean, my only concern is that he hasn't really pitched, so I don't know how much they're gonna give him as far as um I don't know. I don't know how many pitches they're actually going to be giving him. So I don't know. Uh, Maybe again. I wish I had a different market. Maybe the first three to attack. But yes, my lean will be the Blue Jays right now. But I have to. Nothing official yet. I have to maybe think a little bit more about this one. What angle I want to attack. So, but overall, you guys saw the numbers. They Gossman has done well versus the Blue Jays in the past. And again, I think you can ignore the fact that Bo Bichette typically it's does well versus he's done well. You know, when it comes to the bullpen, right? If we're gonna see some bullpen arms, so Sean Armstrong, he's been doing well. I'm expecting to see some Chris Devenski in here today. I'm expecting to maybe see another more for Phil. But yes, I'm expecting some of that. So Bo Bichette is someone that I think could be a good target today in some sort of capacity. I think he's gonna do well in today's game. So it might just be that I lean on Bo Bichette today and just call it a day. Just a single prop for that game, since I'm leaning, you know, the Blue Jays already. So alrighty. Let's go ahead and look at real quick. I just kind of want to know what the plan is going to be for the Rays when it comes to their bullpen. Give me 1 second. Um, Sean Armstrong. So Alex Blue Jays. Alexander is expected to work both of the innings. Okay, so Tyler Alexander is a lefty. Okay, guys. So Tyler Alexander, he's 0 for 6, but Tyler Alexander is with the Tigers last season. Doesn't really offer much, I don't think. Again, a lefty coming out here versus the Blue Jays. I think this is gonna be a situation where again I'm just gonna lean on Bo. I know he's 0 for 6 against them, but sure I'm sure to start off, and then you bring him, Tyler Alexander in the back end. I think give me the Blue Jays here to win at least the first 5 or even full game. So let me just kind of see how Alexander's done it. We're moving on from this game after this, promise. Mr. Alexander. I know that he was performing okay in the spring. Yeah, he did well in the spring. The average is still getting touched up quite a bit of hits. 12 hits in 9 innings. So you know that he's gonna give up hits. So give me Bo Bichette. Let's keep things simple. Bo Bichette, to start the year. He needs to get going here for the Blue Jays. So I'm expecting a big game for him today. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on to the next game. So the next game we got on the slate, now we're into the 2 p.m. games. So we covered quite a bit here. And then we have the Nationals Reds. So this is an interesting game, right? It's gonna be a game that I'm expecting the weather to be favorable. It's gonna be a little chilly still. The winds are actually blowing in a bit, but I don't think that's gonna matter too much. Jake Irvin versus Nick Martinez. So this is an intriguing matchup. Really high total, 10.5. Big. The Reds are favorite quite a bit here. So Jake Irvin, when we talk about Jake Irvin, I think he has some potential. I like what he brings to it. He's obviously gotten rocked in the past, and I can see someone today like Eli De La Cruz, having a great game, wreck and rap, have it in the bases kind of thing. But Eli, we got Jake Irvin. Not the craziest matchup. To me, there's only one way to lean in this game. That's probably going to be on the Reds side. I don't think Mr. Irvin is going to be able to hold down the fort for the Nationals. Even though I think he's like I said, I don't hate Jake Irvin. I think he had a decent spring. He, for the most part, is someone that I can see racking up some strikeouts. I can see him kind of being a pest the first 5 innings, especially going versus the matchup that he has going on. So yeah, so I will say Jake Irvin, and then we have his matchup. It's Nick Martinez, which honestly it seems like kind of a bullpen game here, right? Or he's being stretched out, but I don't know what Nick Martinez is really gonna bring to the table. He's done well versus the Nationals overall as a lineup. So, but I do think Jake Irvin can hang. It's not like a big disparity between Jake Irvin and Nick Martinez, so it might be a situation that the spread is just too big to me. Like, I think the first 5 innings, the Nationals can actually hang with this team. Because I think just their offense is better than people give them credit for. I think the Nationals can put up runs. I think they can fight, claw, scratch, kind of hang around. But yeah, I would probably lean on just maybe the half run, the first 5. We'll see. They're an official play. Nothing that's like, oh my God, I'm going to go run to make that play. So, okay, moving on. We're going to move on to the next one. So again, Nick Martinez, okay, pitcher. I'm expecting this game to be probably, I don't know, maybe even a little bit, maybe even the under the first five between these two pitchers might surprise people. Because they're gonna see those two names and automatically think over and just smash the over, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think those two teams can actually um, keep the game somewhat low scoring. And if you're giving me, let's see, yes, oh, actually went to 9.5 now, so it's moving the direction that I'm thinking. Yeah, 5.5 runs. Um, Man, that's tempting to take the under 5.5 runs, but uh, I don't know. I don't know. Let me think about that one, okay? Because that's a bossy move to take the under first five in the Nationals and Reds. But I think these two starters can actually, or even Washington's half run, the first 5 innings, it's whew, minus 105. That looks good. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Next game. Tigers White Sox. So the Tigers have, this is going to be probably an ugly game weather wise. So we're looking at 44 degrees with 9% chance, and the winds are blowing left to right. So it's going to be chilly, guys. It's going to be a cold, cold game. It's actually the coldest game on the slate. Okay. So I'm honestly after yesterday's debacle with these two teams where they want to look crazy offensively, I can see an under here again. I just don't trust either two offenses to consistently put up a lot of runs. I mean, you throw in that weather, you throw in the fact that Jake Flaherty in any given moment can pitch decently. I mean, he's dominated this White Sox team. I mean, 22 at bats, 2 hits of him. And then you throw in here this guy that's pitching for the Tigers, Fetty, which I think maybe he's more so on a kind of like 3 to 4 innings kind of guy. These numbers have gotten, but again, if you're giving me the Tigers at a decent money that I can get them, I'm probably gonna lean on them. So I just again don't really know what I'm gonna get with this White Sox. I mean, the lineup it's okay. Let me just kind of see how Mr. Eric's been doing this spring. Okay, so he didn't actually have a terrible spring. He actually performed decently, and we can do the logs too. Um, he was going 4 5 innings consistently, got built up to 81 pitches. Anyone that pitched against Colorado did great in the spring, so. But overall, seems to me like they're gonna give him some leeway. So I don't know. My lean is the under here. I think it's just not enough. I don't think there's enough offense on either side to get me to over 8.5. Let's see how Mr. Jack Flaherty again did decently. Been built up decently. So yeah, I would say give me the under in this game. It's an official play for me. With that weather, yes. So Interesting. All right, guys, moving on. Let's go on to the next game. A lot of games today. You don't have to bet every single game, guys. Just keep that in mind. Baseball is a very long season. A lot of games, a lot of matchups. The more data we get, the more stuff we're gonna be able to really see. Um, Twins, Royals, Brady Singer on the mound versus Billy Over. Um, Billy Singer to me was someone that I was pretty high up last year, but he struggled quite a bit, you know. But I do think this is going to be a season where he can actually maybe put some stuff together, even though this Minnesota Twins lineup seems to hit him pretty well. Okay, so someone that I can see already that might be a good matchup. I mean, Byron Buxton. I mean, those numbers again, you can't really ignore them. He's been pretty hot this series. I can see him continuing to stay hot. Um, I just don't know where you're gonna get with Brady Singer. You know, half the time it's like, again, I had pretty high hopes for him. Sorry, I'm gonna show you guys Buxton numbers here versus Brady Singer. And this is what I'm talking about. So Brady Singer versus the Twins. It's not good, right? It doesn't look good, but at the same time, I don't really want to be that person that's just judging off the past because I do think, I still have it's so much potential with this guy with Brady Singer, and I'm just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting every season for him to kind of put it together, and it just doesn't, like last season to me was a disaster for him. So I think he's someone that he's looking to bounce back. He has not had a good spring. He's obviously continues to work on certain things, and but again, he had like two starts where he got absolutely rocked, and then he got a couple ones that he looked dominant. Again, that's exactly what you get with Brady Singer, though. You're gonna get some starts that he's gonna look amazing. Then he's gonna get some starts that he looks like crap. So, yeah, don't really see you know how I can even back him in this game, other than maybe backing the over for both teams. I think this is maybe an over game. I think when we look at the Twins starter, Billy Over, I think he's someone that is hittable. I don't think he's gonna come on here and just completely um, dominate you off of your shoe. But if he gets in a good rhythm, he could. But I just don't see it. I think this is a game where I'm leaning the over in this game. Um, so it's gonna be winds blowing out, almost 70 degrees. Two pitchers that to me are erratic. Um, when you look at Billy Over, I think his numbers versus the Royals are probably not the greatest either, from what I remember. Might be confusing him, but doesn't scare me one bit. I mean, 273. So yes, I give me the over in this game. I don't see either one of these pitchers just kind of being dominant. So that's over 8.5. So give me that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna trying to keep things simple, guys. So just give me the over. Don't want to overcomplicate things, and let's move on to the next game. Yankees Astros. Man, this is a series that again. Do you see the Astros going 0 for 4 to start this heat season at home? I don't know. I mean, you're getting decent price again, from what you see here. Um, but I don't know how much could you trust. I mean, their offense right now is struggling. They've scored, you know, 4, 1, 3. So, maybe this is the game where they kind of put it all together versus Clark Smith, which they haven't had a lot of at bats, and at bats they have had, they haven't really had a lot of result. Then you got on the other side, you got the Yankees, where they will love to start. I mean, they going into this season, this is their number one team. The Astros, they haven't been able to pass them. This is just a huge boost for them, confidence wise. You got someone like Verdugo is adding a lot of energy. Hasn't really been hitting the greatest, but could be a great matchup for him today, even against the lefty, JP France. No, JP France and the lefty. So again, I don't know what to think in this series. The 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 matchup is giving me the Yankees sweep 4-0 kind of vibes. I mean, it's tough to do, but it's the Astros as well. So people have this mentality: oh my God, this can happen to the Astros, right? But I can see it, to be honest. The, this is a series that I know they already won. The Yankees are playing with house money at this point, so it's all the pressure will be on the Astros today to actually kind of salvage anything and anything they can. So yes, I think for the most part you can see the Astros putting some runs up. If there was anything that I would lean, it's just probably their team total. Um, I think they could come out here and put a string together some hits, some at bats, just trying to get their offense going, especially versus someone um, like Clark Smith. With we're getting to the back end, right, of the Yankees, which has been kind of like the question mark this whole off season. Do they have enough pitching? Can Smith be that guy in the fourth spot, right, to come in and give him a decent start once in a while? But he's also very hittable, right? So I think if it was ever a time for the Astros to possibly get something, so I'm gonna be targeting maybe someone in the as far as like, let's see what Clark Smith kind of features here. So again, I love Baseball Savant because I really want to know if I can target either Kyle Tucker or Yordan Alvarez today. So versus lefty, right? We're gonna feature a cutter, heavy, right? He's pretty hittable, right? Batting average 283. Put away only 14%. So it's not like he's getting a lot of whiffs with it. But then we got the cutter, followed by a knuckle curve and a sweeper. So a lot of soft stuff after the cutter, and then a sinker. And so he's going to feature it versus lefties. So when we go and we see, let's see which one. I mean, can't go wrong with Yordan Alvarez half the time, right? Let's see how he performs against. I mean, Jesus, guys, this is all red. So we got cutter performed decently. You got the knuckle curveball, right? Performed decently. So and sinker. So again, when we look at Clark Smith breakdown, so we got cutter, sweeper, sinker, knuckle curve. Okay. Sweeper destroys them. Okay. Sinker, okay, destroys them. So we got 2 out of the 4, right? So we got sinker, sweeper, and then cutter. Now let's look at Kyle Tucker. Another guy that, to me, it's in for it. Nice. So we got the sinker, does really well. We got the cutter, does decently against, and then we have the sweeper. Okay. So I mean, one of these guys is gonna have a big game. Just trying to figure out which one is gonna be the one that has the big game. So if we go by previous history versus Clark Smith, all right, what we can expect to see. So we got Yordan. He's only had 1 at bat versus him, and then Kyle Tucker's 0 for 3. Yordan Alvarez will probably be my lean. He hasn't gotten a hit in the last 2 games, so I think Yordan Alvarez today is a prime player to target versus this team. Kyle Tucker, similar. He's 0 for 4, but I think it's more so of a Jordan Alvarez night. So give me the total bases for Jordan Alvarez. And that puts you at Jordan Alvarez, total bases, plus money, plus 100. So there you go. All right, and then let's see. We got a couple more games here. Couple more games. We're getting closer to finishing up. It's a lot of game, guys. There's a lot of games to kind of get through. Cubs, Rangers. Man, I'm leaning on the Cubs here. I think the Cubs are in an intriguing situation today. I think this might be your dog of the day. Jordan Wicks versus John Gray. I know that everyone is going to be looking at the Rangers after the ass whooping last night, but I do think this guy Jordan Wicks can actually come in and do a decent job versus some of these lefty. Like we got the Corey Seagers of the world, we got the obviously with the you're gonna have a lot of righty power, right? But I think Jordan Wicks could come in here and actually perform decently for the Cubs. I think this is a prime spot for the Cubs offense to bounce back versus John Gray. Someone that they've probably seen quite a bit since coming from the National League. But yeah, I just think the Cubs could probably lean a little bit on the offense today. It hasn't really shown up. I think Wicks is someone that I'm decently. I think he's gonna be okay. I don't think he's gonna be overmatched, and I just think overall it's a good matchup for him to match up versus John Gray. When I'm looking at Jordan Wicks and John Gray, I don't see him being like completely wow. Like John Gray is like absolutely, out of this world kind of guy, right? Decent. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher, but he's hittable. I think he can definitely leave some mistakes out for this offense to capitalize. So if I'm not leaning, I'm probably gonna lean the Cubs team total in some capacity. Let me kind of see if Jordan Wicks, he hasn't really pitched versus, so I guess I think that's an advantage pitcher when the lineup hasn't seen him. So at least twice through the lineup, so it's giving us the first 5 innings. Might be a play that I do personally. It's the first 5 innings half line with the Cubs. And then we got John Gray, which I'm assuming there's a lot of at-bats here. Yep. See, so the Cubs have seen him. They know what he brings. Cody Bellinger destroys this guy for the most part. I'm guessing this is, again, a situation where John Gray features certain pitches. Let me see. To lefty, and Cody Bellinger just seems to be. So we know what we're going to get versus lefties. 4-seam, slider, changeup. 4-seam, slider, changeup versus Cody Bellinger. Right. So this is what he's featuring, right? This is John Gray versus Savant. So we come down here. And we know that he's going to lean on those versus lefties. He's going to lean on that 4-seamer, the slider, and the changeup. Now, and then he's going to throw a little bit of curveball in there. When you put that versus Cody Bellinger, what does Cody Bellinger do, right? 4-seamer, he did decently. But now when you go and you give me a 4-seam followed by slider, which, I mean, this is undeniable. He hangs his slider. Cody Bellinger is going deep today, okay? We got a slider here that he hammers. Then we got, from there, we got John Gray. From the third pitch is the changeup. So again, Cody Bellinger, Big game. I'm looking at his hits, runs, RBIs today. That is going to be my play in this game is Cody Bellinger to get probably over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Okay? And I have to kind of write this down because I'm probably going to forget myself because these books are not open yet. Bellinger over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. All right, moving on. Let's move on. So Cody Bellinger is the play in this game for me. And then Yordan Alvarez. Total bases. Okay, so next we got Guardians Athletics. I haven't even really played that series. Not looking forward to doing that at all. Rex's Mariner. I think this is another game that to me is most likely going under. This is just a really weird series. To me match. I mean, it's even. I don't see it. I am going to be taking the Padres on the money line again today. Okay. I like the Giants, but I don't know what I'm gonna get with Jeffries. So I like that. And then the last, right, we can expect Steven Matz Stone. I think this is a game in which the Dodgers we have to find some sort of prop in order to find value. So someone that maybe has hit Steven Matz decently is the one that I'm going to lean here. I mean, top to mind, you got Freddie Freeman, right? Hits him decently, has 4 doubles against him. And then some of the other ones that you can expect. So I think in this one, Steven Matz, I'm not expecting him to dominate, go crazy out here. He's very hittable. So we got to find maybe a matchup here. Like I'm leaning maybe Teodoscar Hernandez. Might be a good target here. You're going to get some decent value coming on an 0-for-5 game last night. So you want to look for value like that because you're going to know that the Mookie Betts, the Freemans, those are going to be very high priced. So, but overall, that's kind of my leans, on that game. The rest of I already kind of went over some of my leans, some of the things that I'm expecting to happen today. But yeah, I'll share some final plays on X for you guys. And yeah, I'm going to continue to maybe do these, like I said, 2-3 times a week, maybe even less, depending how busy I get or not. But I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.